Jason Falbo from Mircom from Toronto. Hi Jason, how are you?
Excellent, thanks for having me, Butch.
Let's talk about Mircom. What do you guys do in Toronto, and who are your clients?
Sure, so we're a full-service design manufacturer of intelligent building solutions focused on the fire alarm space for the last 23 years, since 1991 when we were founded. Our clients, we go to market through a number of different channels, security distribution market in the US. We have a number of ESDs, and we also have a number of branch offices which service and support anyone from institutional clients, healthcare, universities, commercial properties like office buildings and retail stores. And we have a huge market share and growing in the residential fire alarm space, so high-rise residential market.
Great. Talk about your relationship with the NFPA, with Mircom.
Well, NFPA, if not for the NFPA, we would have no business. You know, their promotion of the codes and standards and education of the public of pertinent issues with respect to life safety and fire are really the reason why we can continue to service those markets. I think the NFPA does a great job of making a common ground and framework, especially for manufacturers, because there's so many different ways that we can take our products. So having the standards, the guidebooks, and the handbooks available to us allow us to provide what is in essence a commodity product to satisfy the life safety needs of the public. So we definitely leverage the publications and the journals. We've been a long-time sponsor of the NFPA, and we see a great return on the investment that we put into those magazines, really for understanding what changes and shifts are happening in the industry. The 2010 edition of the NFPA 72 code was very instrumental in development of our mass notification solution. So we went out there and we're very involved in following the developments of Chapter 24, and almost a direct correlation between the decisions made by the valued membership of NFPA and what we do on a daily basis on the product development side.
From a manufacturer's standpoint, talk about the value of the process that NFPA goes through in codes and standards. It's nice to know that you can have a voice in how codes and standards are updated, implemented, written, right?
It's amazing for us because it gets rid of a lot of the noise. As a manufacturer and engineering team, you can at any day or point in time take your product in any number of different directions. And for us, understanding what is important to the membership of the NFPA and the public at large really allows us to filter our opportunities so that the investments we make as an entrepreneurial firm are guaranteed to pay us back based on the fact that they are meeting the needs of the public. So without the NFPA, we'd probably be working in directions that wouldn't be as fruitful or wouldn't be as important in terms of protecting lives and public safety. With the NFPA, they are acting as a natural filter for us. It's greatly assisting us to make the right decision to bring products to market.
You sort of already touched on this, but how has a particular code of the NFPA helped you do your job better?
Great example of that is NFPA 72 2010 edition. So the emerging standards for mass notification systems, emergency communication systems, were really not well understood. A number of the manufacturers up until that point in time had voice evac systems, but they meant a lot of different things to a lot of different people, whether they were single channel solutions, all call solutions, the interfaces that were available. The NFPA 72 2010 edition really made it exactly clear what the requirements of those types of systems were. So now when you go to market, especially for us from a competitive standpoint, when we're competing against other manufacturers, be them North American manufacturers, Asian manufacturers, European manufacturers, we speak a common language when we talk about mass notification systems. Before that handbook was produced, there was a lot of questions as to what is the system actually doing and what compliance do you actually have. What we do is we point them to the standard and we say we comply with NFPA 72 Chapter 24 Emergency Communication Systems. So if you as a customer or consumer are not comparing apples to apples, if you're looking at a system that is a mass notification system that does not comply, then you probably need to do a further investigation to understand what you're really buying and what protection is really offered at the end of the day. So for us, again, it acts as a great filter, it provides us the requirements, and it makes it an equal playing field when you're going out to market, where the competitive aspect of it becomes that much more of an economic issue when you're buying.
Two last questions. Talk about the collaborative effort of the NFPA to get codes and standards updated and written and all of that. When you think of, from your standpoint, a manufacturer, then you got the installers, then you got the inspectors and the AHJs, and then you've got people in the industry. So you keep saying this, but you speak a common language. How important is that from creation of the product to implementation of its use and all down the line, and having it be compliant and all of that?
It's incredible within this industry the way that public input is not only valued, but it's the impetus to actually making change. I've come from other industries that have adopted standards, open standards on the technology side or on the process side, And it's a lot of special interest groups. It's kind of people lobbying for their own practice or their own technology to behave or to be accepted in a specific way. When it comes to the NFPA, it's really the public safety that counts at the end of the day. And they encourage the dialogue between the different groups, the inter-manufacturer standards committees, making sure that there is representation from a number of different groups at each of those meetings. And the fact that we are able to bring all these people together to find the solutions at the end of the day to make our products better in terms of their life safety opportunities, it's impressive to me the way the NFPA has been able to collect all these different stakeholders together to make cohesive codes and standards at the end of the day.
What, final question, what do you say to other manufacturers, the value they would get from fostering a deeper relationship with NFPA like you have?
We see it all the time. We have a lot of, whether they're EN players or Asian players that are looking, especially within the North American market, where I think NFPA has much more of a grip on the industry. For us, it's almost a natural when they come to us and say, how have you been successful? What have you done? How have you built your own company? One of the first questions that comes out of our mouths are, have you read the NFPA Codes and Standards? Have you attended the meetings? Are you a member of the different groups or special interest groups or working groups that are defining the next level of standards? So for us, it's encouraging other people to come into the market, which brings competition, which brings about better technology and changes and shifts. And we, as a primary source of information, or as a first step for anybody entering into the industry, push them towards the NFPA literature and educational training sessions, conferences, etc., to give them that baseline understanding required to participate in this industry.
Great.